Hey everyone, my name is Blake Cadwell. I'm the co-founder at Soundly.com and I write a blog at HearSoundly.com. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the best and worst hearing aids on the market in 2023. And as a hearing aid wearer, this was one of the first things that really confused me about the hearing health space. I think I counted it up at one point. There were over 100 brands represented, different brand names in the hearing health world. But when you start to kind of peel back the layers of the onion, many of those brands go back to the same major manufacturers and have the same underlying technology. So in this video, I want to break down some of the key brands and technologies that you need to understand as you're making a decision about your hearing health and which hearing aids might be right for you. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to talk about the big 5 manufacturers, which are behind probably 85 to 90% of the hearing aids that are sold. Talk about which brands sit under which manufacturers. And then I'll talk about 4 standalone brands that are sort of their own thing and talk about some of the pros and cons of those brands as well. So let's just dig right in. What you're looking at on the screen right now is a blog post at hearsoundly.com on this very topic. So I'll link this article if you want to read the whole thing. But we'll just jump right down to group number 1. And this is sort of the tried and true, trusted, large manufacturers. And there are 5 of them. The first and the largest is Sonova. So Sonova makes Phonak, Unitron, and Lyric hearing aids. They also make the hearing aids that come from a direct-to-consumer brand called Audicus. Sonova is a giant, thousands of employees, very trusted name in audiology. And if you get any one of these brands, you're going to have somewhat related technology. The technology in Unitron and Phonak might not be identical. They have some different features, but a lot of the underlying philosophy and technology will be the same. So that's Sonova, number 1. Number 2, and the second largest, is Demant. And Demant, their largest brand is Oticon. In Costco, they sell Philips. Then they also have a brand called Sonic. So again, when you walk into Costco and you get Philips hearing aids, you're essentially getting a very similar product to what Demant makes under its Oticon brand name, which you would get at a local audiologist. This is where things start to get a little bit confusing. It's important to know Demant, Oticon, Philips, this is kind of our next big group of hearing aid brands. The third one and the third largest is WS Audiology. There's a long backstory behind this company. It's a merger of multiple brands. But their 2 big brands are Widex and Signia. These brands do have different technology. They borrow from one another and build on one another, but Widex is mostly known for speed. Signia has a dual processor that people really like, both very quality hearing aids. If you go to Costco, you'll get Rexton. Again, this is kind of connected to the Signia brand. So Signia is out at an audiologist, and if you went to Costco, you would get Rexton hearing aid, all owned by WS Audiology. Number 4 is GN Hearing. They make ReSound, Jabra. They own the retail chain Beltone, and they also have Interton. GN is a very large company as well. I mean, all of these companies have multiple thousands of employees. They invest millions and millions of dollars in R&D. But ReSound is really their flagship. Jabra, using Jabra Pro or Jabra Enhanced Select, use a lot of the underlying technology within ReSound, and they pull that into their products. Beltone also sells basically ReSound products, but they sell them under a different name. I believe it's called Imagine, and that's inside the Beltone store. But if you're looking at a Beltone hearing aid versus a ReSound hearing aid, they're going to be virtually identical. Inside Costco, a ReSound hearing aid is called a Jabra hearing aid. So again, using different names to kind of describe the same underlying technology. And then the final one in the big 5 is Starkey. It's a US-made product. Starkey has their main flagship product, which is under their name, Starkey. And they have New Ear and Audit Bell. Starkey is by far the largest and the one you'll see the most. It's primarily sold at private practice. This isn't available at Costco at this time. And they have a few less brands to kind of deal with. So that gives you a sense of sort of the largest players, the big brands in the category. Now let's talk about some of the standalone brands within the hearing aid space. So we'll start with, and there's lots more information you can see on this blog post. We'll start with Jabra Enhance. Now this is technically owned by GN and manufactured by GN, But Jabra Enhance is a direct-to-consumer brand. So you wouldn't get it at an audiology clinic. You wouldn't get it at Costco. It's sold online. I actually love this product. Very affordable. You use telehealth to program your hearing aids, essentially. The second that fits kind of in a similar category is Audicus. Audicus uses primarily hearing aids that are made by Sonova. The Unitron hearing aid is kind of their main hearing aid that they sell. But again, they put it under their own brand. They program the hearing aids remotely, and they ship them to your home. The next hearing aid is totally independent, not made by one of the big five manufacturers, and that is Bose. Bose developed a hearing aid. They then partnered with a company called Lexi Hearing that sells and services that hearing aid. So Bose no longer sells directly. I love this offering. It's probably my favorite over-the-counter offering if you're looking for an affordable place to start. It's self-fit, really interesting player in the market. Then you have Eargo. So Eargo, again, is a hearing aid that sits sort of outside of the main brand set. This was built from scratch, completely custom. It's an independently owned company, and they're really famous for their kind of invisible style. So that's you have 5 big players and 4 kind of standalone brands, somewhat connected, but some very independent. And hopefully that gives you a sense for the somewhat confusing world of hearing aid brands and makes things a little bit clearer for you. If you enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up or click the notification bell, and you'll get more videos from us very soon.